What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with another physique update of a retired bodybuilding legend, and this time from Germany, the Big Bad Wolf, showcasing a very fresh looking physique at the age of 46. So every time some of these great bodybuilders of the past, they post an update, the fans immediately start hoping that maybe this is for this upcoming Masters Olympia. I guess we will see about that. But as far as the Wolf is concerned, as he's getting older, he is looking more and more agile, more active, more athletic, and he has more of a functional looking physique where he can play any other sport, especially in comparison to his prime days, when he was pushing close to 300 pounds and he could barely tie his own shoes. So, did we see the best of Wolf in his 10 years long career? Well, the man was top 3 at the Olympia back in 2013, and he also won the Arnold title. So we did saw him pretty close to his personal best. But did we ever see the best ever of Dennis? Because just as he was getting better and better with every passing year, he faced a very dreadful injury that finished his career literally. And yes, I know he did come back at the Arnold 2018, but that was a very downsized version of his former self, and the man was only a shadow of his prime physique. And it is really good that he realized that there is no point pushing this hard to get bigger at that age, because there was new talent in the men's open bodybuilding coming up during that time, and Wolf was already close to 40 years old. So his 2007 Olympia version, that is still one of the fan favorites, because he had a very young looking muscle, and many say he deserved higher than 5th at that show. But do let me know which version of Dennis is your favorite. Next up, we have an update of another retired bodybuilder, another IFBB pro, who also became a victim of an injury, particularly a shoulder injury, that just forced him to say goodbye to the competitive side of the sport, the beast Roelly Vler. So Roelly is 100% back on some juice, as the man is reminding us of his former self. Now, obviously not that freaky or not that big, but the man has been looking very refined in his recent updates. So here is a very cool comparison of his triceps currently versus the one when he was relatively a young IFBB pro. And there is just no denying the fact that Roelly had some of the sickest looking triceps, and not just in his own era, in the entire bodybuilding history. His arms will always be in the discussion of being the greatest arms ever. Now, it was kind of unfortunate that Roelly was just never very consistent in his career, especially in terms of nailing his conditioning, except that one year, 2018, where he was able to beat the likes of William Bonac and a prime version of him, and a very combative version of Dexter Jackson, as well as Big Ramy, and he was able to place his highest ever top 3 at the Olympia that year. He is definitely among those guys who missed this huge opportunity to win the Olympia back in 2019, because there was no Phil Heath, no Sean Roden, no Big Ramy, and Sean Roden was the defending champion that year, and even he wasn't there, and Roelly was the highest placing guy from the Olympia from the previous year. So, as of right now, Roelly for his age is looking pretty damn impressive. The 4 times men's physique Olympia champion, Jeremy Buendia, isn't messing around as he goes into the final year of his competitive career. I do not remember him looking this much swole in a really long time, and maybe pulling out of the Arnold this year, that was a good call, since he knew he wasn't gonna be ready. And every division at the Arnold that has a very competitive lineup. It is so unbelievable to think that Jeremy, who was once the most popular guy in the fitness industry on Instagram, he went into a total midlife crisis after he announced his retirement back in 2018, and later he parted ways with Evogen Nutrition and his old-time coach Hani Rambod as well. And the comeback that he made in 2023, that has lots to do with him seeking more business opportunities by being more relevant once again, and as a 4 times champion, and truly one of the greatest men's physique athletes ever, Jeremy will always be a very big name in the men's physique division. Now, he is obviously qualified for the Olympia for life, so maybe he will go for his one last Olympia this year, and that is gonna be his final round. So Jeremy's 2017 look, that was probably the most dominating win in the men's physique division. So with all the injuries that is currently facing, we do not know whether that physique now is even achievable for him or not. But it is gonna be really interesting to see that same version against a guy like Ryan Terry or Ali Bilal. guys who aren't the biggest in the game. And I do feel like if Jeremy can bring that look back, he can win back his Olympia title. No matter what the people say, the former Miss Olympia Derek Linest, he will continue to believe that he's gonna win this upcoming Arnold. And this is gonna be his first try. And you better believe that Derek is gonna be giving every ounce of his energy during this Arnold prep. Not just in the gym, but in terms of posing and presentation, and in terms of dieting as well. Because he wants to bring a much better package at this upcoming Arnold compared to what we saw at the Olympia last year. Now he was spotted training his quads once again with Fabrico, and even though this is just a glimpse, and his quads must be fully pumped up, there is still some solid detail on the side of his legs. And honestly, Derek's legs, especially from the side, they are one of his biggest runs because of the level of detail that he has. The idea of Derek working with Chris Aceto, that definitely puts more excitement in this equation for this upcoming Arnold, because previously, Derek was working with what we can all agree is the greatest bodybuilding coach of all time, Hani Wembot, someone who has always been famous of being absolutely spot on with all of his clients. But if being flat on the Olympia stage, that is what made Derek drop down 2 spots, then this I have got to say is on Hani Wembot, because Derek was following Hani's protocol. So will Derek and Chris Aceto shock us all by beating Derek's 2023 Olympia look? Because if they can do that, that is gonna be extremely competitive, because we already saw how improved Derek's chest and his delts looked at this past Miss Olympia. His balance from top to bottom, that is gonna determine where Derek is gonna land and whether he can challenge Samson Dauda or not. Next up, we have another off-season physique update from the former Classic Physique Olympia champion and now a 212 athlete, Breon Jeremy. So the man is well on his way to getting full-blown and big as a house, because he knows he's gonna be going up against the mass monsters of the 212 division, guys who are packed with muscles on top of muscles. I mean, just look at the current shape of Angel Calderon. The guy has that unbelievable amount of muscle density on that frame. And if we compare Breon to a physique like Angel, who is a top Olympian, not a single thing about both these physiques, they are similar. But one thing is guaranteed, that no one can succeed in either 212 or the men's open class without putting on enough size, enough mass. Patrick Moore, who always had an unbelievable shape, that is a prime example. So Breon just cannot simply rely on coming in harder and fuller and on his classic lines. He needs more size, more mass, because even in classic, his biggest critique, that was not having enough quad sweep, enough size on his lower half, compared to all these other guys who were beating him in classic. So we shall see whether Breon can bring up his quads or not. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.